Namaskar. So let's begin our matrix concept study from this lecture. So matrix, as we discussed, is a very important tool, and we can solve many complicated problems in a much simpler way, and it have a very effective in solving many linear equations. So we'll see that what is the foundation, how we understand it, and the way we can keep it remember the concept for longer. So let's begin. So let's say you have some items, right? Let's say you have books, right? And let's say you have 6 books. So if I represent this number of books in a form, the information we have in this kind of bracket, right? So that would be good. Now let's say if you have a pen also, so you have, let's say, 7 pen, then you can let's say we can represent it like 6 7 like that. So if we know that what is the notion we are going to follow in representing it, then you can easily formulate such kind of concept. So let it be, extend it in a much broader way. So for example, let's say you have 3 friends, let's say Mohan, Syam and Simran, right? Now let's assume that they have a pen. Let's say this have 6 pen, this have 7 pen, and this have 8 pen, and they have also pencil, and you can have a pencil of let's say 5 pencil, 8 pencil, 6 pencil, something like that, right? So the way we just followed above, just to represent the information, the items you have. Similarly, you can make a rectangular array of it, and we can just write the same thing like this, right? We can have 6 5 7 8 8 6. So this array is called rows, right? Rows, and this direction is called column of the array, right? Columns. Now here if you can see here that the row represents the names of your friends, and the column represents the items, which the amount of items they have. Then we can easily construct this kind of array, and it will have all the information if you know that what row as column represents. You can also you can also write something like this. You have Mohan, Syam, Simran, right? And then you can have the pen, pencil written like this, and then the same information you can let's say it have 8 6 5 pens and 5 6 8 pen, right? So if this is the information, then now you see that these columns are going to represent your names friend, and the items is represented as in the rows. So you can have this information written as, right? So you can see that in the one case you had information in which has 3 rows with the name of your friend, and 2 with the name number of items, and in this case you have 2 rows representing the items, and 3 columns representing your names of the friend, right? So this way you can have lots of information gathered in this, and that can be further utilized to solve many problems. And then as I said that this would be your first row. So for example, let's say you have this row like this, and then you can have this items filled here, right? And you can have columns filled here. So you have 1 item here, 1 item here, 1 item here, like this. So you can have a total 6. The number of rows is 3, and the number of rows is columns, so total 6 positions you can fill. And this is your first row, this is your second row, and this is your third, right? Similarly, this is your first column and second column. So this ordered, this kind of ordered array, which is known as matrix, and this information, now each matrix have a certain information contained with it, and we can operate many other matrices with the relevant. Of course, you should know that what they consist, and if they are interaction is feasible or not, but you can store the information like this, and you can solve many complicated problems in a much simpler and much efficient way. So this is about that how the matrix looks like. Now let's see what is the order of matrix, what we understand about that. So as we can have, let's say you have a if I say that if a matrix it is having order m cross m, so it means that the first digit denotes the number of rows and the second digit denotes number of columns, right? So if it is a matrix written like this, so it will be m cross n matrix. So it would mean that it would have m number of rows like this. So you can let's say you can have represent it as a1 and n number of columns like this, right? So this will be n numbers and this should be m. Okay, so you can have a11, let's say a12, a13 and so on, a1j, right? A1n. Similarly here you can fill a21, a22 and so on, a2j, a2n, and then here you can make up to m rows. So m1, am2 and so on, amj, amn, right? So this way you can make a matrix, and generally the matrix is written with the capital letter like A. So you can write A is equal to this is equal to A. So this is representing this matrix, where in general terms you can write Aij, okay, where m cross n. So m cross n represents the order of the matrix, where it have m number of rows and n number of columns, and the element of ij representing the each element position in the matrix. And you can have such that I is between less than m is equal to n, and j is less than is equal to n, right? Where I and j must be the elements of natural number, right? Because it is represented as 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So that way, if you want to write that, let's say if the ith row and jth column would have what element? Aij. And what would be the number of elements? Number of elements in this matrix is equal to m cross n, right? The number of rows into number of columns. So you can have so many elements in a given matrix. So from now on, in general, whenever you represent a matrix, so we can write A is equal to Aij, representing the element of the matrix. So the elements like these items are called elements of the matrix. And the capital letter is, as we said, it is going to represent the matrix itself, and the order is written like that. So this is the general notion we are going to follow from now onwards. And for the time being, generally the elements we are going to consider in the matrix, that would be either real number or the functions which is of real number. We are not going to use currently the complex numbers and all, because that is again advanced stage, but just to give you a foundation, we'll follow those kind of numbers. Okay, so let's have some example related to that, and let's see how you can construct problems. You can construct a matrix from a provided information. So for example, you are given that you have the shift, in a factory there are people working, and they are working in a 3 shift, right? And the number of men workers are given, and women workers are given, and they are such that first shift they have 30 women, second shift 25 men, and third shift 27 men. And in first shift 25 women, second shift 31 women, and 27 men. Now you are said that you construct a matrix which is of the order of 3 cross 2. So it means that we need to construct a matrix which is which have 3 rows and 2 columns, right? So you can easily construct Now I say that okay, now I don't need 3 into 2, I need a 2 into 3 matrix to construct. Then what will do? Then what you will make it? Then you will arrange that in the rows number of men and women, and shift would be arranged in the columns, right? So you can easily modify this, and you can write this as 1, 2, 3, and number of men and number of women in that, right? And then you can easily construct a matrix of that, where you will have (30, 25), to 31, and 27, 26, right? So you can easily make a matrix like 2 cross 3. So this is how you can construct the information. Just you remember that what represents rows, what represents column, and then you can calculate and do the formulation that we will see in further cases. So let's have another example. For example, you are having the information given is that the element of a matrix is given like 1 upon 2 mod of I minus 3j, and then you are said that that you construct a matrix, right? Construct a matrix of the order of 3 cross 2, right? So 3 cross 2 means there will be total how many elements? Number of elements would be how much? It would be 6. Okay, so let's say you have a 3 cross 2 matrix. Let's say it is represented as A, and then you can fill that items A11, A12, A21, A22, A31, A32, right? So this would be the matrix. So it means then you need to find that odd element. So this Aij is equal to A11, it means I is equal to 1, j is equal to 1. You put that values in this, and of course it is modulus, so you will get A11 is equal to 1 upon 2, 1 minus 3 into 1, and it will become 1 upon 2 mod of minus 2 is plus 2, and then you will get 1, right? Similarly, you solve for A21, A22, A31, A32, and then you fill the whole values in this matrix, and then you will get the final matrix, and that would be A is equal to 1, 5 by 2, 1 by 2, 2, 0, 3 by 2, right? So this is how you can construct a matrix, provided you have the given information that what does the element look like. So this is a very general term. Now sometimes you may come up that this kind of equation when you solve, and then you can easily find that what would be the ith element. So here this is your 3 cross 2 matrix, and if I say that what is the 2, 1, 1, so it means that you'll have the first digit, remember that it is the row, and the second digit the column. So I need to know the second row, first column, this is the item. So A21 is equal to 1 by 2, right? So this is about the matrix concept building, the very first step, that what is matrix, how you can construct the information in a matrix form, what is the order of the matrix, and how we can represent and find the element, and what is the first m and cross n. If you have order, then what is the first digit represent? It is dependent rows, and the second value in the order represents the column. So this is for this lecture, and we will proceed further, and we will see different types of matrices in our next lecture. So see you there. Thank you.